Hey guys, for our lesson today, we're going to be looking at Everyday Math Lesson 4.6. This is going to be day 2 of it. We started this last week, and I wanted to go over it again today so that we can look at perimeter and understand perimeter a little bit better. So your jobs for today will be to watch the Ed puzzle. Then you will do a perimeter page on Kami. Then you will do Math Boxes 4.6, and finally you're going to do an IXL DD1, and you're going to get a SMART score of at least 80. So our objective for today is I can find the perimeter of polygons. I can use a sentence frame to explain the steps for finding the perimeter of a polygon. We're going to use that sentence frame again. You're going to be recording it on your Kami page, and I will be showing you how to do that in this video as well. So, I want you to tell me the perimeter of this rectangle. You should have added the sides 2 plus 4 plus 2 plus 4 to get a perimeter of 12. 2 plus 4 is 6, and then another 2 plus 4 is 6, so that 6 plus 6 is 12. A little bit trickier, see if you can find the perimeter of this rectangle. When you are doing a rectangle, we know that opposite sides are going to be equal. So we know that if this side is 1, the opposite side will be 1 as well. And so we have a 1 here. We also know that if this side is 5, then we will have a 5 on the opposite side as well. So our number sentence would be 1 plus 5 plus 1 plus 5. And that also equals 12. 1 plus 5 is 6. 1 plus 5 is 6. So 6 plus 6 is 12. All right, next we're going to look at the math message, and this one is going to be a number story. So I want you to think about using our cube strategy. So we know that the C means to circle the numbers. The U is the U is underline the question. The B is box in those math words. The E is evaluate, and the S is to solve. So the math message says, Robert got a new puppy but needs to build a fence in his backyard to keep the puppy safe. He needs to know how many feet of fencing he needs to build his fence. His backyard has a length of 10 feet and a width of 9. How much fencing will he need to buy his fence? So you should have maybe drawn a picture to help you figure this out. And one of the things that we can see is that from this, we know that he has 10 feet for the length, which length is right here. He has 9 feet for the width. So the width is how wide something is. And my question was, how much fencing will he need to build his fence? And my keywords, I don't really have any strong math keywords. I'm just going to have to know that I'm looking at going around the whole backyard. So I'm looking at finding the perimeter. And we talked about this before, where we know that opposite sides of a rectangle are going to be equal. And so this would be 10 feet, and then the opposite side from the width is going to be 9 feet on this side. So when I go to find my perimeter, my number sentence will be 9 plus 10 plus 9 plus 10, and that will equal 38 feet. When I added these together, I added 10 plus 10 to get 20, and then 9 plus 9 is 18, so 20 plus 18 is 38. All right, we're going to be looking at some evaluate questions. And this was one that we had in October. So when we go to take our December evaluate, we will see one pretty similar to this. Now, the question says, Oscar made the figure below using square tiles. What is the perimeter in units of this figure? So a lot of students will start counting the boxes, and that is to find the area, which we're going to talk about in the next couple days. But this problem says to find the perimeter. Remember, the perimeter is the distance around an object. We used our fingers to show, to remind ourselves the distance around an object or a shape. So when we took this in October, one student got it correct and 20 students got it incorrect, which is okay because you are just now learning about perimeter. So when we take it in December, we want to see that number jump up quite a bit because we're learning perimeter right now. So the way that I find perimeter is this figure is being measured in units. It doesn't tell us what units they are. They could be inches, it could be feet, but we're just saying that it is 1 unit, whatever that unit would be. So anytime that I go across this shape, that is 1. Anytime that I would go down a shape, that's 1. This is a square, so all of these sides are going to be 1 unit. So when I go to figure out this perimeter, I'm going to be counting the units all the way around. So I'm going to start in this corner, and I'm going to go all the way around the shape until I get back to that starting point. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. Now my shape goes down, so I still have to follow that. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm going to go across the bottom now. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. I have gone all the way around the outside of this shape. That is the perimeter. So my perimeter is going to be 26 units, whatever the unit may be. If it was feet, we would say feet. This perimeter is 26 feet, or 26 units. The way that I solve this is by counting the outside of the shape. Let's look at another evaluate question. And this one is a little bit different. I will tell you this is a little bit trickier. We had 10 students get it correct, and then 13 students get it incorrect. The last one was like you had to write your answer in. This next question was a multiple choice. So 10 students picked the correct answer. This one is a little bit trickier because we have to know the perimeter, and then we have to find the height. So the question says, the perimeter of the picture frame shown below is 48 inches. So we know that all the way around this shape is going to be 48 inches. The width of the frame is 10 inches, which they wrote here. What is the height right here? I don't know this. This is what I'm trying to figure out. But I do know a few things. So we know the perimeter is 48. So I'm going to circle that number. I know the width is 10. My question says, what is the height? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Some of my math keywords could be perimeter, because when I see perimeter of a rectangle, I know that it's going to have 4 numbers. So it's going to be something plus something plus something plus something equals, the perimeter is going to be 48. Okay. Well, I know one side is 10, and I know this side's gonna be 10. So I need to figure out these two sides so that I can get a total of 48. Well, one thing that I know about rectangles is that each side has to be the same. So I'm not going to have 12 here and 10 here. That's not going to work. So I want to know how much of the perimeter is the width. So I'm going to add my 10 and 10 together, and that is 20. So I know that 20 of my perimeter is the width. I need to know what the height's going to be. So I'm going to find out what's left over. So if I have 48 total, and I take away what I already know, which is 20, I'm going to be left with 28. Now, I need to know how much each side is, and there's two sides. So I'm going to take 28 and I'm going to divide it by 2 because that's how many equal sides I have left over. And when I'm doing a division problem, I can make my 2 circles. If I'm not sure what 28 divided by 2 is, I can make my 2 circles, and then I'm going to divide or split equally the 28 inches. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So while I was doing that, every time I got 5 in one circle, I made my tally marks. So I know I have 5, 10, and then 4 more is 14 on this one. 5, 10, and then 4 more is 14 here. So each side needs to be 14. So I can put 14 on each of my sides. And then I can double check my work. 10 plus 10 plus 14 plus 14. Well, 10 plus 10 is 20. And 14 plus 14 is 28. When I add those together, it should come up with my perimeter that I already knew. And it does, 48. So on this problem, we have to work backwards. We have to use what we know, which is the perimeter already, and then work backwards to figure out what the other numbers will be. It is tricky. All right, let's look in your math journal. You are going to turn to page 115 in your math journal. Everybody stop and go get your math journal and a pencil. Number 1 says, Mrs. McMaster wants to add a border to a rectangular bulletin board. The top is 25 inches across and the side is 25 inches tall. How much border does Mrs. McMaster need? You may sketch a picture. I would recommend and highly encourage you to sketch a picture. So my picture is going to be a rectangle because it says I have a rectangle. I know that I have 25 inches across and 25 inches tall. And my question is, how much border does Mrs. McMaster need? The border is going to be that kind of frilly thing across the top. You think about in our hallways, the teachers have their bulletin boards, and they always put something around the outside. That's the border. And so I'm going to draw my picture to represent what I know. I'm also going to box in those keywords, which I don't really, again, I'm not seeing a lot of keywords that tell me what to do, except for knowing that border is going to usually tell me that I'm going to be doing perimeter. And with perimeter, I know that I have a rectangle, so it's going to be 4 numbers because there's 4 sides. So that's why I'm going to have 4 numbers. When I look at my picture, what is going to go on the top? 25 will go on the top. What will go across the bottom? You should have said 25 as well. What will go on the right side? You should have said 25. What will go on the left side? You should have said 25 as well. So, what will my number model be for this problem? You should have said 25 plus 25 plus 25 plus 25 equals, we don't know yet. So what will the perimeter be, or how much border will Mrs. McMaster need? So you should have added all those together. One thing that would help me to add this is I know 25 is the same value as a quarter, and I can count my quarters. So I would have 25, 50, 75, $1, or 100. So Mrs. McMaster would need 100 inches of border. All right, let's look at number 2. It is another number story. It says Mr. Lopez wants to buy a fence, or wants to put a fence around his rectangular vegetable garden. The longer sides are 14 feet long, and the shorter sides are 9.5 feet long. How much fencing should Mr. Lopez buy? You may sketch a picture. Again, I really encourage you to sketch your picture. I'm going to go through my cubes. So I see 14 feet long, 9.5 feet long. My question is, how much fencing should he buy? My keywords, I don't necessarily, again, have keywords that tell me what operation to do, but I do know he's making a rectangular garden, and I know he is buying around his garden. So I'm going to think about drawing my picture. Again, I encourage you to draw your picture. How long is my long side going to be? You should have said 14 feet. How long will the opposite side be? 14 feet. How long is the shorter sides going to be? You should have said 9.5. And then the other side, of course, will be 9.5. So what is the number model going to be? You should have said 14 plus 14 plus 9.5 plus 9.5. And we don't know the answer yet. So the answer, how much Mr. Lopez should buy, how many feet of fencing? To solve this, I would add 14 plus 14, and that equals 28. I'm going to add my whole numbers first, so 9 plus 9 is 18. And then I have a half, and that's 1. So 18 plus 1 is 19. I'm going to add 28 plus 19. 8 plus 9 is 17. I'm going to carry that 1 up to the top of the tens. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 more is 4. Mr. Lopez should buy 47 feet of fencing. We should have come up with 47 feet. All right, you are going to need to do the IXL and get a SMART score of at least 80. It is DD1, so you're going to need to go to the bottom, it's close to the bottom, and look for DD1. Now, I want to show you how to record your answer in Cami about how you solved the problem. So when you go to your Canvas page, you are going to go into math, of course. You will click on, you'll be in the Monday, and I'm looking for where the home or the perimeter page is. So it's going to be this first assignment. So after you watch the Edpuzzle video, when you click next and you turn in the Edpuzzle, you will come to the math perimeter page. Now, after you solve these problems, you are going to create a comment. And this is going to be a voice comment. You don't have to do a video, you can do a voice. So one thing that I always like to do is open up my page big, so I can click on the K to open it up into a bigger screen so I can see it better. You will have to sign in, and then you will scroll down closer to the bottom, and underneath where you have some of these buttons, you're going to see recent. You're going to click on perimeter MM. That's the assignment you will be working on, and it'll have your name on it as well. So after you have solved the perimeter and you wrote your number sentence for these problems, you are going to put a comment on here. So you're going to click on comment, and not a text comment, we're going to do a voice comment. If you wanted to, you could do a video comment. So you're going to click on voice comment, and then you're going to click on where you want the comment to be. So if you are telling me how you found the perimeter of number 1, click on number 1. If you're telling me how you found the perimeter of number 2, click on number 2. Same thing for 3 and 4. So I'm going to say number 2, and I'm going to allow my microphone, and you won't get this, but this is just telling me that I am recording. So if we look over here, you can see that I'm recording right now. It automatically started to record. After you explain it, you're going to say, I found the perimeter of this shape and then tell me what you did. What did you add together? And then you're going to tell me the perimeter is how many feet. Once you get done, you're going to hit the stop button, and then I will know that you recorded it right here. This green dot right here tells me that I recorded something here. After you've completed all of it, you will go to submit and turn it into me. So on this page, you will need to do all of the problems and then pick one of the shapes to do a voice recording to explain how you solve this problem. After your perimeter page, you have your math boxes to do, and then the IXL to do. Make sure that you are getting on your Google Meets. So we have our small group Google Meets. Make sure that you're getting on at the time that you have, and I will talk to you guys later.